If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Florian Wirtz gives cryptic injury update as Liverpool wait on forward. The German missed Sunday's win over Nottingham Forest, and the Reds lacked creativity in his absence. Wirtz is clearly working on his recovery ahead of this weekend's home game against West Ham. Florian Wirtz shared a post on social media showing the Liverpool star recuperating in the sauna, as supporters eagerly await an update on his back injury. The 22-year-old was forced to drop out of the Reds lineup at the 11th hour before Sunday's trip to Nottingham Forest, with Curtis Jones replacing him in the lineup. Arne Slot said post-match that he does not expect it to be a long-term issue, and Liverpool fans will hope the German is back in time to feature against West Ham United on Saturday. The Reds lacked fluidity and creativity without Wirtz in the side. Slot was forced to switch Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai after 30 minutes, with the latter moving into an attacking midfield role. Wirtz's social media post gives no indication of whether he is working on his recovery or has already recuperated. Liverpool's number 7 uploaded a cryptic picture of himself with the battery and shaking hands emoji. It's unlikely an update on Wirtz's fitness will be provided before Friday's pre-match press conference, but speaking after the Forest win, Slot said, "We don't think it is very serious. He felt his back too much during the warm-up to start. He wasn't able to be 100% or close to 100%. I think after being in this league for 6, 7 or 8 months that no matter how good you are on the ball, you need to be 100% at this level. So we decided not to play him but hope and expect him to be with us next week." Meanwhile, Jamie Carragher felt Wirtz's absence contributed to Liverpool's disjointed display at the City Ground and said the ex-Bayer Leverkusen's creativity has become imperative. "In the second half of the season, Wirtz has been fantastic," Carragher said on Sky Sports. "But he still doesn't have the numbers to back it up. But you still love to watch him play football. There's no doubt we're seeing his real quality now. He's influencing the game. At Sunderland, no one had won there before. He didn't get the goal or the assist, but if you watch that game, he was the best player on the pitch. Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike are doing well at the moment. But you feel they would need to go up another level to get Liverpool back in the title race next season." Liverpool Champions League path becomes clearer after costly Simon Mignolet error. One of Liverpool's potential last 16 Champions League opponents has been knocked out of the competition, with the Reds due to discover who they will face in Friday's draw. Liverpool's possible Champions League last 16 opponent has become clearer after Tuesday's playoff between Atletico Madrid and Club Brugge. The Reds have known since the end of the league phase last month that it could face either the Spanish or Belgian outfit, along with Galatasaray or Juventus when the competition returns after the playoffs. This week marks the second leg of those Champions League ties, with Galatasaray traveling to Turin on Wednesday. Tuesday's fixture in Madrid saw Atletico and Brugge renew acquaintances after last week's entertaining 3-3 draw in Belgium. And it was Diego Simeone's side that came out on top, earning a 4-1 win to ensure it be involved in Friday's draw. Atleti took the lead after 23 minutes when Alexander Sorlotha's shot squirmed through the clutches of ex-Liverpool goalkeeper Simon Mignolet. It was a moment to forget for the 37-year-old, who should have comfortably dealt with the strike. It proved to be a costly mistake that handed the hosts an early advantage. Brugge did get back on level terms before the break, with Joel Ordóñez, who was linked with a January move to Anfield, nodding in from a corner. But Ivan Leco's side was unable to build on that equalizer 3/4 of the way through the tie. Johnny Cardoso set the tone for the second period in the Spanish capital when he smashed home from the edge of the area just 3 minutes after the restart, before Sorloth helped himself to 2 more goals that took the tie away from Brugge. He tapped in from Ademola Lookman's pass into the area to finish off a well-worked Atletico move, and he then completed his hat-trick when he converted Matteo Ruggieri's back-post cross. It means Atletico earned a 7-4 aggregate win and will be paired with either Liverpool or Tottenham Hotspur in Friday's draw. The other Premier League side will most likely be drawn against Galatasaray, with the Turkish side leading Juventus 5-2 from last week's first leg. Liverpool has already played both Atletico and Galatasaray in this season's Champions League, with a 3-2 win at Anfield against the former kickstarting its league stage campaign, while Arne Slot's side was beaten 1-0 in Istanbul a few weeks later. The last 16 ties will be played across October 11th and March 17th and 18th, with Liverpool knowing it will play the second leg at home. The Reds won 6 of their 8 league phase games and finished third in the 36-team table. Inside story on Rio Ngumoha as Liverpool rising star gives first interview. Rio Ngumoha gives his first interview with the written press since breaking into the Liverpool first team. In the bowels of Nottingham Forest City Ground, Rio Ngumoha initially looks puzzled as reporters hoping to grab a word with the Liverpool winger ask for a minute of his time. Having become a man on the pitch for Arne Slot's side this season, and on the back of a decisive cameo off the bench in Sunday's 1-0 win at Forest, it is the only hint all afternoon that the 17-year-old remains at the start of his football journey, as he reacts with surprise that anyone would like to hear from him. Before agreeing, the teenager checks with club officials as to whether he is even permitted to give a rare interview, only to be informed that the decision is entirely his. Ngumoha is less than an hour removed from playing an important part in Liverpool's last-gasp victory, and he is more than happy to speak for what is his first chat with external written media since he moved from Chelsea nearly 2 summers ago. "It was a very good win," he says of the late success. "We played well as a team and we just showed hunger and togetherness throughout the game, so I felt we deserved to win today. It was unfortunate that Alexis Mac Allister's first goal, was ruled out, but I just try to help the team. It's all I can do. I just put balls into the box whenever the manager needs me. I just need to provide everything I can give and just keep going on." Potentially elite was how Ngumoha was described to the Echo when the Reds managed to pry him from Chelsea's grasp in 2024, with one longtime observer of youth football also claiming him to be one of the best players in his age range in Europe. It was a deal that left the Londoners furious due to the obvious potential of the England youth international. Reports of Liverpool scouts being banned from Chelsea youth games subsequently started to gain traction on the back of their frustration with how events unfolded behind the scenes. The recent confirmation that the Reds will only pay a maximum of £6.8 million for someone presently regarded as one of the most exciting teens in the Premier League will have only added to the disappointment down south. Such was the buzz around Ngumoha in Chelsea circles, in fact, that even the legendary John Terry was moved to pass comment when it was confirmed the winger would be making the move to Merseyside. In an Instagram post at the time, the former England captain posted, "Good luck mate," along with a fist bump and blue heart emojis. It's been a memorable first term to date in senior football for Ngumoha, whose crisp finish at Newcastle United on August bank holiday, to seal a dramatic 3-2 victory in the 100th minute, saw him become the 4th youngest scorer of all time in Premier League, 4 days before he turned 17. It was a goal that also made him the youngest goalscorer in Liverpool's illustrious history. It was more evidence of him building a career with the Reds on the back of an enormously exciting preseason program, when he scored 3 goals against Stoke City, Yokohama Marinos and, the pick of the bunch, against Athletic Club at Anfield. "I think it has gone really well, Ngumoha says, reflecting on his time so far. "I am learning a lot every day and playing with and training with some of the best players in the world. I can't ask for much more as a young kid. So I just think I need to carry on proving, working hard in training and showing what I can do to the manager. The manager, Slot, is very important to me and he gives me a lot, I would say. After training, he always gives me the right things. We always have a meeting and he tells me how well I am doing and he just shows me certain clips of training. All of the staff here are very important and they are helpful." Ngumoha's decision to move to Merseyside as he prepared to turn 16 might have caused consternation at Stamford Bridge, but it was the Reds' clear pathway to the first team that allowed them to steal a march at a time when their rivals were spending tens of millions on young wingers like Kendry Páez and Estevao Willian. Since then, Chelsea have also signed Alejandro Garnacho, Pedro Neto and Jamie Gittins for the wide areas alongside forwards João Pedro and Liam Delap to further limit opportunities for academy hopefuls. Jadon Sancho was loaned from Manchester United in the summer of 2024 and they have since sold João Felix and Noni Madueke. The disorienting level of turnover is not conducive to a young player getting a chance at first-team level in West London, and the proposal from Anfield simply proved too good to resist at the time for Ngumoha, who is guided by his older brother, James. Liverpool, in contrast to Chelsea, offered a more straightforward route to Premier League stardom for Ngumoha, and the decision not to recruit a successor for Luis Diaz was done, in part, with the idea that the winger would move up the senior level and provide Cody Gakpo with competition. The nature of Liverpool's often turbulent season has meant first-team games have been more difficult to come by than initially hoped at the start of the campaign, but there is no internal concern that Ngumoha is behind schedule, with Slot regularly making the point that very few players of his age have played more than his 89 minutes, split across 9 appearances. "He is very direct," says Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk. "Obviously he goes past players and has a lot to learn, but he had a good impact today, but it's on to the next one for him, nothing more, nothing less." Slot, speaking after the victory over Forest, said, "He has incredible potential, otherwise at 17 you don't play as many minutes, let alone at Liverpool. I don't think there is a 17-year-old who has played as many minutes, and that tells you how much of a talent we think he is. He is making progress, he gets stronger apart from that moment where he stands his ground. You face 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old athletes. For him to show this shows something about his talent, but talent is only the start of his career. Calls for more regular minutes have so far been resisted by Slot, who is keen to protect a young player whose game relies on exciting dribbling. There's thought to be a belief that young wingers are, by the nature of their play, more inconsistent than those in other positions, and the Liverpool staff are said to be wary of too much coming too soon, despite each cameo appearing to showcase a star on the rise. I just need to keep pushing and keep gaining the manager's trust, and hopefully that leads to more minutes, says Ngumoha. Hopefully, more minutes, soon. The contrast between his last two appearances have been marked from Liverpool's perspective. Introduced for the final 20 minutes or so with the team 3-0 up against Brighton in the FA Cup, the England youth star had a goal incorrectly ruled out for offside at a time when the result was safe and secure for the Reds, who will now face Wolves next week in the 5th round. Sunday's introduction, however, was in much more testing conditions, with the side labouring away to a Nottingham Forest outfit who felt like they deserved more, and while Ngumoha admits certain game states can inhibit at times, he says he is always confident enough to do what comes naturally to him. He says, "For me, I just take it all the same really. Obviously if it is 0-0 you've got to a little bit less expressive, I would say. However, if the opportunity is there to take on a man, I will do it any day of the week, so I would probably say it is the same really. I know, when I come on, I need to at least do something and try and impact the game. Whether that is on the ball or off the ball. So whether it is like trying to put in a tackle or press to win the ball back, put balls into the box, have shots on target, or just beat my man. I just think, every single time I am called on for the team, I just want to show everyone what I can do really. To be fair, I would say, I look up to everyone really. The team has no separation, everyone is together, and I feel like that is really important for me. I think for everyone really, especially the new players coming in. So, yeah, I look up to everyone really." Less than 24 hours after that second-half cameo at Anfield in the Cup, Ngumoha was back at under 21 level, scoring an eye-catching goal for Rob Page's side as they beat West Brom 4-3 at the Kirkby Academy. For a player keen to express himself, such outings are important to keep sharp, particularly if first-team opportunities remain limited to substitute appearances for now. "No, definitely," he says. "I feel like if you are not playing as much then you can stagnate, so I feel like to gain more minutes, whether that is under 18s or 21s, I am still so young, so I am available to play, so any games I can play, I will." Howard Webb gives verdict on Dominic Szoboszlai red card as ref admits, "I didn't see that." Dominic Szoboszlai was controversially sent off late in Manchester City's victory over Liverpool at Anfield, and referees chief Howard Webb has now issued his take on the decision. Howard Webb insisted referee Craig Pawson was right to send off Dominic Szoboszlai, even though it killed one of the moments of the season. Liverpool star Szoboszlai got his marching orders after a tussle with Manchester City striker Erling Haaland, and Ryan Cherky saw his late goal disallowed. City still won 2-1 at Anfield, but the row over the late disallowed goal caused a huge backlash, with Sky pundit Gary Neville insisting the officials were killing the game. Neville said, "That feels so unjust. I know there are rules, but there is the smell of the game, it's completely gone. There is no person who would disallow that goal. But it's going to be disallowed. Talk about killjoy. Liverpool lose by getting a man sent off. City lose because they don't get a goal. You have just killed one of the moments of the season." It has also been revealed that Pawson initially allowed the goal to stand because he didn't see Haaland fouling Szoboszlai in the build-up. VAR intervened and then ruled the goal should be disallowed because of a clear foul by Haaland which prevented Szoboszlai clearing the ball, while the Liverpool midfielder saw red because he prevented a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Talking to the officiating team during the game, ref Pawson said, "The on-field decision is goal. There's an initial foul on Erling Haaland. The VAR then followed, we have a clear foul on Erling Haaland and then a clear foul on the defender. So, we can't allow this goal because there's a foul. We have a clear foul on the defender, so we can't ignore it. However, there's a clear free kick just before and a dogso. Because that's why Erling Haaland doesn't get on the end of the ball. So that is a dogso. So, it's on-field review. Cancel the goal and recommend a review for a dogso by Szoboszlai." With Pawson beckoned to the screen to review the incident, he was shown Szoboszlai's pull on Haaland and replied, "That's the pullback. That's the one I played advantage on, yeah." The VAR then said, "But then we cannot play advantage and ignore this because there is a clear holding offense on the defend, there. So we have to disallow the goal for the holding on the defender, award Manchester City a free kick and give a red card for a dogso by Szoboszlai," to which Pawson replied, "I didn't see that." Webb said on the match officials' mic'd-up show, "To referee at Premier League level, you need a feel for the game, you need an understanding, and we try to apply common sense where that's possible, but there's a limit to that. This goal is only scored, it only goes in the goal, because Erling Haaland pulls Szoboszlai, preventing him from being able to clear the ball. The referee tries to play an advantage when Szoboszlai initially pulls Haaland, and he waits to see what happens, and, of course, if the ball goes straight into the goal, that's a good advantage, we give the goal. But the ball only goes into the goal because Haaland clearly commits an offense on Szoboszlai. We can't ignore that. We can't therefore just allow the advantage because it's only accrued because of that action by Haaland. So, we have to go right back to the initial offense, which is the one by Szoboszlai pulling Haaland. It's outside the penalty area, it denies an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so a free kick is given and Szoboszlai is sent off. He was appealing for this foul by Haaland, he was right to appeal because it was a foul. But unfortunately for him, he'd committed an initial offense that has to be penalized, and we end up in what is clearly the right place through the use of VAR in the end. Harvey Elliott made Rio Ngumoha promise shortly before Liverpool exit, amazing future. The Liverpool winger starred in the Reds' 1-0 victory over Nottingham Forest, and there is no doubting the quality the teenager possesses, as Elliott outlined last summer. Liverpool's Rio Ngumoha continues to dominate headlines following his impressive cameo against Nottingham Forest on Sunday. The winger was introduced in the latter stages at the City Ground and played a significant role in the Reds' late surge, which resulted in Alexis Mac Allister netting an injury-time winner. Ngumoha completed more dribbles and created more chances than Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo, who both started, leading to calls for the teenager to earn more minutes going forward. While Liverpool is understandably wary of affording him too many on-field, there is no denying the quality Ngumoha possesses. If further evidence is required, Harvey Elliott's comments from last summer underline how well respected he is in the Liverpool locker room. Ngumoha starred in pre-season and was arguably the Reds' best performer from those summer fixtures. He earned raved reviews for his showing against AC Milan in Hong Kong, with Elliott praising his then teammate after the game. He's fearless. He showed that today against AC Milan, one of Europe's big teams. He was like a kid in the park, although he is a kid, the on-loan Aston Villa midfielder told LFC TV in July. He just needs to keep going, and we'll try as much as we can to try and help him out. I think if he keeps on performing as he is and working hard as he is, then the kid has got an amazing future. There are not many 16 or 17-year-olds in the team, and he is in because he is incredible at his age and he is able to handle it. We can all see his quality, and he just needs to keep working hard and keep going. In the upcoming years, hopefully, he can show the world, and especially everyone at Liverpool, why he is so highly rated. Ngumoha has played 15 competitive games since his summer heroics, but just 2 have been starts. They both came in the domestic cup competitions, and there is a growing clamor to see the ex-Chelsea Academy star named in a Premier League lineup. However, Arne Slot has remained cautious on that front, with the Reds keen to avoid the injury setbacks several other high-profile youngsters such as Stefan Bajcetic and Jadon Danns have suffered in recent years. He has incredible potential, otherwise, at 17 years of age, you don't play as many minutes as he does in the Premier League, let alone at Liverpool, Slot said after Sunday's win over Forest. I don't think there is any other 17-year-old who has played as many minutes in the Premier League as he did. I don't think there is an 18-year-old or 19-year-old that has maybe played as many minutes as Rio. That tells you how much of a talent he is, and we think he is. He is making progress more and more, and that's why you see him playing more and more. He gets stronger and stronger. Apart from his moment when he had his 1v1, there were also 1 or 2 other moments where he stands his ground. That is what you need because you face 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old athletes mainly as your opponents, because we are a bit of an exception in terms of the age of our group of players.